I would like to present to you today our topic, Justifying the Invisible, Test Automation Return of Investments for Team and Business Stakeholders. So, here is a brief agenda of what we wanted to talk to you about today. The test automation paradox, something that based on our experience so far, it's something we have ran into. My colleague Vidushi would like to talk to you about what test automation means for project teams, and I would like to talk to you about what it means for business stakeholders. We also reached out for some feedback from our colleagues, and then we came up with a few solutions and conclusions that we would like to share with you. So, our first agenda point, Vidushi will talk to you about teams, but first of all, what did we mean about that automation paradox? Well, in real life scenario, in our project, whenever we find an error, unless we fix it, it's going to propagate over and over again until we either fix it or worse, the process has to be shut down. Pretty much like Vidushi's thermometer, right? But when that happens, we need to act quickly to solve the issue, not shut down the system. But in order to handle things efficiently, how about we automate the process? We all agree that test automation as a topic is valuable for our projects, whatever they may be. But it comes with complexity and costs that are not easily justifiable. And it also comes with indirect user benefits and no direct commercial values, which poses a challenge to both teams and business stakeholders alike. For the first point, Vidushi, how about you talk about what test automation means for project teams?
Thank you so much, Andrea. So now I would be familiarizing you with my general benefits. So the faster feedback cycle, we following test automation, we do have the regular reports within a trigger of a button. But yes, before that, we need to perform a lot. So once we have that in place, we have faster feedback cycles whenever we want. Another one, better insights. Yes, we can see straight away what is the problem with the scripts or if it is an issue with the application. The third one, higher test coverage. Yes, this is something which with which we can assure our client that yes, we are on the right track. Another benefit, reusability of test suites, whether it is the smoke testing, regression testing, or sanity testing. We have everything ready in form of test automation. Faster time to market. This is something with which we impress our clients and raise our value. This is a faster time to market whenever they want to know. We have everything ready and in place. Another point, please. Reduces human error. So yes, transcription errors are less likely and can be eliminated with just one adjustment. Another one, team saves time. That is but obvious. The regression that we perform within 2 days manually could be helped with test automation in just one nightly build and another day of failure analysis. Reduced business expenses. Yes, it is a single time investment. Next slide, please. If we have a look why Agile over Waterfall, being Netcentricos, we are focusing more on Agile now. Why this shift? Not suitable for changing requirements, as we can see that we have the last minute requirements as well and amendments. So yes, Agile takes care of that due to the iterations involved. Expensive defect fixes. Unlikely with Waterfall, we can have those defect fixes as the quick ones. Not a good model for complex and long projects. I know, you know, we all know. Delayed software production. Yes, that is something we are under a cover. And we get to know the realities after some time in the Waterfall, which is not the case in Agile. Automation is a one-time investment, which is our focus, which is the crux of all this discussion. Next slide, please. Now, as Netcentric, why Agile is our go-to spot? Stop. Faster turnaround. Yes, due to the smaller iterations, we can have the faster turnaround, work done within a small span of time. Ensured quality, yes. If we have automation in place as suggested in previous slides, then yes, definitely following those benefits, we are ensuring the quality. Repetitive execution. Tell us 100 times and we'll do it 200 times. We would satisfy you. As test automation. Parallel testing, yes, this is something where we can assure that nothing is being ignored, and we are taking care of each and every platform you want as a client. Improved communication and collaboration, which is definitely the thing in Agile that we all know. Communication is really important. And the last but not the least, and the most important, our rockstar point, automation centric. Agile is actually automation centric. Next slide, please. Now, I would like to hand over it to my colleague Andrea to switch for test automation for business stakeholders.
Thank you so much for that quick overview about what it means for teams. Well, basically, we realized that automation usually means more than just buzzwords in real life. Everybody would like automation in their projects because it's implied that it confirms quality and product stability. It would reduce manual effort and it would enable the faster release cycles that Agile would bring to the table. But it doesn't come fast or easy. Automation efforts can be comparable to development and complexity can be high. It's an extra concern for project management that they need to keep on their table, and usually programming knowledge is a must for the test automation teams. Automation software isn't always free, although most of the time we usually use stuff that's freely available and highly documented. And one other pain point that we identify is that there is no direct benefit to the end user that we can put forward. What we'd like to do in the next slide is that we would like to take some of these concepts and translate them into something more touchable, tangible a bit. For example, we were talking about regression earlier. As you all know, regression is one of the last steps in testing a product. It's usually time consuming for larger projects. Defects are usually found late in the release cycle, whatever that release cycle is, and they tend to destabilize project flows. What if you can automate? Well, if you do, you can repurpose the effort that goes into regression. It would imply less manual regression efforts and your testing team can focus on new features instead. It also comes with less back and forth in communication in your team, keeping it focused on the items that actually matter in that new release and new features. Also, the team, testers, developers, requirements engineer can now focus on corner cases and on validating business logic and customer impact rather than worry about old regression issues. Another thing that also can benefit from automation in a continuous integration and development cycle would be to actually translate into less time to market. Faster integration would reduce the testing phase, and that's a pain point for the dev team, but end user would receive their functionality sooner. A comprehensive test automation suite can cover more than the immediate area of effect of a new change, and you can validate a release candidate faster than traditional testing alone, and you have more confidence in your work. It can offer constant feedback towards product stability status. More than that, it can also early identify defects, and that translates into reliable releases. The sooner a defect is found, the faster it is fixed, and the less impact it will have towards your end users. And automation, if you have it, would directly impact platform reliability. You can do dailies or on-demand test automation run, and you can highlight integrity after each new merge. So that's amazing. You don't have to wait until regression or end of life cycle. You can identify defects that can be fixed even before a requirement reaches the testing team because an automation suite is also available to the development team. And it all boils down to having less risk of defects being pushed forward. Another metrics that we would like to, I hurried a bit. Another metric that we would like to highlight would be that prevented incidents also translate into platform stability, because once you've released your code, any defect that was fixed before go live day is one less production incident waiting to happen. You would therefore directly increase your business stakeholders' trust in the quality of our work, and by extension, you would increase end user confidence in our clients' products. Automation also fits in this cycle here because constant monitoring after a product has been live already would translate into a less risk of having hidden production incidents. It would increase confidence in platform stability on the long run, so why not try it? So, what does this mean for our clients? I will take it to Vidushi to share some of the actionable takeaways that we were able to identify.
Yeah. So there are interesting actionable takeaways. For business, for example, the new features, they actually drive development, controls platform stability, which is under each step of the way. And team is more focused on the features and not tech depth, which is something very important. And for the end users, it acts like a steady flow of new features. Another one, it means maintains consistent quality and reliability, and the user is pretty confident about the product. The another one is increased trust in the product, as I mentioned before. So yes, these are actionable takeaways.
We also reached out to some of our colleagues for some feedback because our Netcentric teams have run into various sorts of issues, challenges when it comes to test automation. So 3 of our colleagues were happy enough to share their feedback with us, so we would include them in our talk. The first one we reached out was Lee. In his role as delivery lead and PM of one of our clients, his biggest challenge towards automation was that the team was not able to understand directly the importance of test automation or how it works. He realized that it's a huge benefit of having automation in his project, but since the entire team didn't exactly know how it actually fits in their day-to-day work and the benefits are somewhat hidden, they actually encountered this challenge. Vidushi?
So, this is the most beautiful feedback that we can have as Netcentricos. Trust is the most important component of our relationship with our client. The golden words from Dragos Popa. Our customer has confidence in our expertise, and we are always delivering on our promise. And yes, we are justifying one of our core values, never let the customer down. I would request Andreea.
Yeah, it's amazing to hear feedback like that, but not all the time things are challenge-free. My colleague Stefan Tomov, in his role as delivery lead and project manager for another of our clients, actually realized that while automation truly helped our project to take the next step towards QA proficiency, it was originally a challenge to convince the customer of its benefits and role, especially since we were starting an automation project from the ground up. We, however, earned their trust very quickly and the results were amazing. So we have feedback that automation, while applied properly, works as it should. I would also ask now Vidushi to share some of our conclusions with the rest of the team. So the salient high-tech benefits. My colleague Vidushi actually put together this slide, and what she wanted to share with us is that besides the actual tangible platform level benefits, she was able to identify some benefits at corporate level and things that go beyond our project. For example, we automate more. Well, maybe our work would then mean that the smaller corporate carbon footprint is there. It's something we should consider when we automate our work. Also for Netcentric, it could mean an enhanced strategic planning. It would really help our company put together a different way of testing or developing their products. Also, we would be able to have aligned strategies across projects. We are already trying to implement something along these lines, so we see it as a benefit. Also, there's a clear benefit of amplified productivity, not only at product level, but cross projects. So we really wanted to include such a benefit of test automation here as well. Also, we reduce the chances for human error. While we cannot remove it completely, it's a clear benefit that constant monitoring and test automation can work and help our projects to reduce the chances of it at least. Also, I think proper test automation suite on one project or more would improve accountability and transparency about our work. It would put our best foot forward when we present our work to our clients and to our colleagues alike. Another benefit we see that there will be fewer redundancies, less work and more focused work to be done if we choose to automate where it makes sense. And in the end, the one thing that testers usually like, It would mean that early defect detection would be possible, and this can go beyond our products towards more reliable releases to our customers and so on. That being said, we're closing towards the end of our talk, but what we would like to say is, despite our absolute enthusiasm about test automation, it's not a magic formula. And like all things in life, terms and conditions apply to it as well. What we would like to say is that it would not instantly solve quality issues. We cannot automate 100%. It may not make sense. It may not be possible. Well, depending on the platform, I don't know. You have to be mindful of what you automate, and you should know that you cannot automate 100%. We also cannot avoid entirely human error, as well as we cannot avoid technical false positive. They're just a fact of life. We can also never ever replace the human factor, no matter how much we try, and we shouldn't try to replace it. And another things to consider, which also coincides with the complexity and the time-consuming efforts that are involved in a test automation project, we need to know that we will not see results overnight. It's a long-term investment, however, but it can level the playing field when it comes to product quality. It would definitely increase transparency and confidence in the quality of our work, both internally in our teams and also externally towards our clients. It would foster cross-disciplinary communication and trust, because test automation is not the effort of just the QA automation team. It's the effort of the whole team together. It encourages learning new items, new framework, new technologies, new ways of thinking out of the box in terms to do what's best for our projects. And it usually allows us to put the focus back on where it matters, on our teams and on our clients. Vidushi, back to you if you have anything else.
Thank you, Andrea. And yes, it was all good. Thank you. If you have any questions, then please stay connected on the dedicated Slack channels with us. And we should be able to communicate on those interesting topics. Now we would like to thank you. Andrea, over to you.
Yes, on behalf of Vidushi and me, thank you for bearing with us and our technical difficulties along the way. Sorry about that, but we hope you enjoyed our talk. And please reach out to the whole QA automation team if we can support your initiatives, because we would super like to see more automation happening. So thank you guys so much. I think we're a bit early, but we'll free up the next of your 10 minutes.
Yeah, thanks from my side as well. It's really refreshing, and I love your talk. And this time we have questions from the audience. There's a question from Antonia Bianchetti. Which data are supported the reduction of carbon footprints?
I think Vidushi would have some research on that, or we would be happy to share that with you after our talk, because we need to actually dig into our notes.
Okay, then you can reach out to Antonia directly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The whole idea, just for as a quick answer, the whole idea was that the more we automate, the less time we spend on repetitive tasks, and that amount of effort usually translates into whatever investments that are behind it. And by automating stuff, we free up a lot of other hidden costs of our work.
Right. And I would also like to add a point, like for businesses to be successful in today's technology-driven world, workflow automation must be a part of their operating procedures. So that was something that we wanted to communicate through smaller corporate carbon footprint.
And there's another question from Alex Dragu. He's asking, what would be the main items to focus on when building up a TA business case if you have a project with lots of functionalities already released?
Oh, well, in that case, I usually would start with whatever is most time consuming for the team and start from there. I mean, in our shared project, the one that Alex also worked on, we looked at a very complex time-consuming regression suite that was taking days and days. And we actually are down to just less than 3 days, I think, right now, because of test automation. So we started with repetitive tasks and we took it from there.
Okay, thanks a lot. And there's another one, the last one. Edwin Lopez is asking, what's the supporting technology stack for achieving this automation in the best possible way?
I think throughout Netcentric, we're using a lot of various technology stacks. The one things that we're actually proud of is that we have a Java and Selenium AEM testing framework right now. We also have a Java-based Zephyr integration, and we're pushing towards that, but I am pretty sure that other projects are using other frameworks. We are also using API testing tools like Postman and JMeter for performance. We have a very technology stack at our disposal, and we don't have something as a standard because whatever makes more sense for the project is the thing that we should use.
Right, I totally agree.
Okay, thanks a lot. Then, yeah, again, thank you so much for your talk, and you, Antonia, Alex, and Edwin, for your questions. If there are any other questions, you can directly approach them. I'm sure they will happily answer you.